Hello everyone, welcome back to Everything Football. The first draft video that people have been waiting for is finally here. I mean, I wanted to do this a couple of weeks ago, but obviously I was waiting for the Champions League draw first because at that time would have been guessing, like we didn't know which teams are going to face which teams. But that is what you're going to be doing this time round. Like I have a first draft, I have a second draft, I have a third draft as well, but we'll be dividing them into different videos and all. Speaking of dividing things into different videos, this season we have something new. I've started up a Patreon. So listen, if you want to support the channel, if you want to support Everything Football, we have Patreon now, and you will be getting extra videos on there. And on top of that, you will be getting team reviews. So I usually used to do like team reviews after every single match day and everything on the YouTube, but I won't be doing that this day, this time around. I will like take one-on-ones with people and review your team, take 10-15 minutes to review your team, but that is only for the Patreon members. So you will get extra videos and team reviews after the match day and tips for the upcoming match day and all that. And I'm also looking to introduce like FPL reviews because I also play FPL, so it's basically a waste of knowledge to just sit with all that knowledge and all that fun in my head without sharing it out there. So I will also introduce that on Patreon after we hit our target in terms of Patreons, and also just to support the channel to also motivate me and help me keep going on this channel as well. So speaking about that, I've already posted the first video on Patreon. The link is in the description. I've broken down all the groups, all 8 Champions League groups, and also the teams with the best fixtures and the teams with the worst fixtures, and that as well. So if you have if you're willing to support the channel, if you're in a position to support the channel, make sure to join the Patreon. But if you're not, don't worry, no pressure at all. You'll still get the usual videos on YouTube, and I'll still be chatting you the guys in the comment section and giving you more tips and tricks to win the UCL fantasy. And we are back. Let's go to the, after all that yapping, 2 minutes of yapping, let's go to the content. So let's start with the goalkeeper. So I've taken a look at, yesterday did a video on the prizes, and I've broken down all the teams and all the players and which is the best balance and all. But let's start with the goalkeeper. So as usual, this is not to be said, but if you're new, in case you don't know, goalkeepers in terms of Champions League, make sure to have a goalkeeper who's playing on Tuesday and another goalkeeper who's playing on Wednesday. That's the best way to go about it, because if the one on Tuesday does not keep a clean sheet, you can actually make the substitution before the Wednesday games and have the goalkeeper on the Wednesday. I usually talk about the best combinations. Some people go with 2 expensive goalkeepers like Ederson and Courtois. I don't think that's the best combination, because that is basically expensive and costly in terms of midfielders and strikers. And if you look at the likes of Haaland, who are like 11.5 million, it would be difficult to get all of those players if you have 2 expensive goalkeepers. So I don't mind having like 2 4.5 goalkeepers and hoping one of them keeps a clean sheet on the Tuesday, on the Wednesday. There's a really minimal chance like both of them are going to be trashed 6-0 and you're going to get 0 points or -1. Or the best balance for me is having 1 expensive goalkeeper and 1 cheap one. So if your expensive goalkeeper doesn't do it for you, your premium goalkeeper doesn't do it for you, you're hoping at least for save points from the other goalkeeper. So with that said, the first goalkeeper I've gone for, also because he has very good fixtures. I talked about that on the Patreon. Let's go to Barcelona. Barcelona is the goalkeeper we are going to go for, Ter Stegen. Let's see. Fixtures, like his fixtures are really good, and he is 5.5 million, so that is not bad at all. You could go for a 6 million goalkeeper and a 4.5 million goalkeeper, but if you can actually go for a 5.5 million goalkeeper and a 5 million goalkeeper, which is basically almost the same price, if I've done my maths correctly, almost the same price. So it's either you go for a 6 million goalkeeper like Ederson and a 4.5 million, which is 10.5, or you go with a 5.5 million goalkeeper and a 5 million goalkeeper, which is also 10.5. That is the correct math. So for me, Ter Stegen has one of the best fixtures or best groups. They're playing against Shakhtar, Royal Antwerp, and also FC Porto. So Ter Stegen, definitely my goalkeeper in the first draft. Not saying I'm definitely going to go for him. There might be changes between now and then. This is just a first draft in terms of the best players that I've come across right now. The second goalkeeper will be playing on the next day. So Barcelona, on the day that Barcelona play, let me take a look at which other teams are playing on that same day. Like, for example, Barcelona are playing on the first Tuesday. The likes of Man City are playing on the same day. So if you have Ter Stegen, you can't have Ederson as well. I mean, you can, but it's not advisable because you're going to be wasting a spot there. You rather have two goalkeepers, one on the Tuesday and one on the Wednesday. So if you have like a Ter Stegen, you can't really have the Man City goalkeeper. You can't really have the FC Porto goalkeeper. You can't really have the PSG goalkeeper, Atletico Madrid goalkeeper, Newcastle, AC Milan. You can't really have those goalkeepers. So you have to turn to the next day where you have the likes of Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Arsenal, Man United, Sevilla, Real Sociedad, Inter Milan. And the team I've gone for is the second goalkeeper is Sevilla. Let's go to Sevilla. Let's go to Sevilla and take a look at Dimitrovic. That is his name. Hopefully I'm saying his name right. Sevilla. So let's see. Let's add him. Apply filter, Dimitrovic. So Bono, I don't know if he's gone yet, but Dimitrovic has been playing. So 4.5 million goalkeeper. So our goalkeepers now cost us how much is that? It's 10 million. So 10 million is not bad for a goalkeeper. We've saved 0.5 million. If you had gone for a 6 million goalkeeper and a 5 million goalkeeper, we've saved 1.5 million. So those are the two goalkeepers I've gone for, Ter Stegen and Dimitrovic, both from La Liga. That's just a coincidence. I didn't really plan that. I just looked at the fixtures at the best combination, and Ter Stegen and Dimitrovic in the first draft is a good one. I mean, there's other teams that you could go for, like Real Madrid. Kepa is not bad at all, like the likes of Napoli as well, not bad at all. But these are the first two in this combination or in this draft. Then let's go to the defenders now. So this whole team I think costs around 100 million exact. I don't think I left any money in the bank, and I don't think I passed it. So this is around 100 million exactly. So those are the goalkeepers. Let's now speak about the defenders and which are the best defenders to have at the moment. I took a look at this for a long time. Like, I had to take a look at which teams are doing well, like in terms of clean sheets at the moment. It's very difficult though. Like last season, we had Theo Hernandez, AC Milan. You can still go for him. We had defenders from Dortmund, as well as Benfica. Like, people have loved to go forward and all that. But this season things have kind of changed. But there's a couple that still remain that I think are very, very good. And one of them is playing for this season they've changed the way the website looks, so it's like you have to scroll on this. I mean, I don't mind it, but last season I think the previous seasons it used to be easier, like to scroll through their website and everything. I don't know why they have to complicate so many things, but I guess I have to select all the teams I've gone for before starting to speak, because it's easier. But Real Madrid, I think you have to have a defender from Real Madrid. They have a decent group. Yes, Napoli is a tough team, but it is advisable to go with one of their players for sure. Man City could also go for one of their players as well. But at the moment, let's speak about the first four defenders first. They've complicated this so much. I've gone for Di Lorenzo as the first pick in this draft. Last season he was incredible. Napoli surprised us all in the Serie A and also in the Champions League. And Di Lorenzo as the captain, he was going forward on that right side, scoring goals, providing assists, keeping clean sheets, getting recovery points. Like, if you have a player who can do all that, like get you like even 1 point for ball recoveries and still get you a clean sheet as well, and assist a goal and play all 90 minutes and get you 10, 11 points, and sometimes get player of the match and an extra 3 points. I mean, on the Tuesday, you could go for like a fancy kind of captain. You don't go for the obvious one. Then if you pick someone like a Di Lorenzo, if he's playing on the Tuesday and he gets like 15 points, then boom, all of a sudden you're ahead of everyone because you're one of the few who've captained him. And Di Lorenzo is the first pick in terms of the defenders that I've gone for. Next up, I've gone for another defender who's usually in a lot of teams, but is already selected by 6% this one, as you can see. Not that much. Di Lorenzo is 16%. Carvajal. It doesn't necessarily have to go for Carvajal. There's still other players like Kepa and Alaba you could go for, but Carvajal, captain, is playing every single day at that right back. It goes forward as well, can get you assists, can get you goals, recovery points. That is the defender I've gone for, Carvajal. I've just explained why. I mean, I don't have to stress on that. Many of you know about Carvajal, and how he's been doing the last couple of seasons as well. Last season, he picked up 54 points. He had 2 assists as well. Real Madrid, as always, they expect them to reach far. I mean, you don't have to go with him until the end of the season, but I think in terms of having a Real Madrid defender, they have a group of Napoli, yes, but their first game is at home to Union Berlin. Union Berlin did well in the Bundesliga last season, but you would expect Real Madrid to win that. They've started the season very, very well. Those are the first different defenders I've picked. The third defender, let's go to Leipzig. Man, it's so annoying how they've arranged this website right now. Leipzig. Let's go to Leipzig. And we will go with Simekan. It's going to cost you 5 million, a lot of money. Last season, he had teams like Club Brugge with cheaper defenders, and they were actually keeping clean sheets and performing well. Last season, Simekan, 47 points. He's only selected by 3%, so it could be a differential for you. He picked up 3 assists last season as well, so you can go for it as well as a defender. And yes, they're in the same group with Man City, but the teams expect to finish second in that group is Leipzig. So even if they lose to Man City, maybe in that week you don't have him, or you just leave him on the bench, or if he plays on the Tuesday, take him out of the team. But in the other games, they have young boys, they have Red Stars as well. So when Red Star go to Leipzig, I would expect Leipzig to win that game. So there's that as well. So that is why I've decided to go for a Leipzig player. You can also go for an attacker or a midfielder, because even in the Man City games, I do expect them to score. But in terms of a defender, Man City will win the group, yes, but Leipzig will probably finish second. So we expect them to at least pick up points against young boys and and maybe a couple of clean sheets as well. So that is my first my pick from Leipzig. Now we have 3 defenders. Next up, I've gone for a defender from Newcastle, and this is mainly because of their price. Now, I think the fixtures are very difficult, but they have a couple of injuries as well. But Dan Burn, 4.5 million. Listen, if he doesn't keep a clean sheet, the good thing with Champions League, if they play on the Tuesday, you can just take them out on the Wednesday, no problem. And they can also get recovery points. He might get in the end of an attacking set piece or something. You never know. He plays at left back as well. At the moment, expecting to play at centre back because of the injuries. But Dan Burn, I am going to pick him in this first draft, 4.5 million. I mean, I don't think he's a must own. Definitely not a must own. The other defenders like Trippier, 6 million. So I don't want to really go for a 6 million defender and the team doesn't keep a clean sheet. Yes, Trippier has more attacking potential, but you don't be surprised if the groups end and Trippier and Burn have the same points, and this one would have cost you 4.5 million. So I've gone for Dan Burn. And then next up, let's see. Next time I chose Carmo. Let's search for him here. Carmo. So it's because it's going to cost you 4 million. Again, in the same group, just the same thing I said about Simekan. You would expect Barcelona to win that group, but the rest of the teams, Porto, Shakhtar, Royal, and Antwerp, don't be surprised if they pick up points against each other. So I have gone for David Carmo of FC Porto. Not a guarantee he's going to start, but at the moment I have selected him to be the defender in from FC Porto. So, and also, mainly because of the price. You have to have like a 4 million defender in order to have a lot of expensive forward players. You just have to have a defender, a cheap defender, 4 million defender. And David Carmo, at the moment, I have gone for him because of the rest of the fixtures in that group. Next up, the midfielders. Now, this position for me in the Champions League fantasy is the most important position. Yes, the strikers will score goals. Yes, we'll get recovery points and a couple of clean sheets in defense. But even the clean sheets are not that regular in the Champions League because there's a lot of good teams. Like if you look at a group like PSG, AC Milan, Newcastle, Dortmund, you would expect every single team to score. But in midfield, they can get you recovery points. They can score goals. They can assist. You get 5 points for a goal. Absolutely fantastic. So midfielders for me, the most important position in the Champions League fantasy, and maybe even in every single fantasy, including FPL as well. So which midfielders have I picked? There's one that is very easy. Like I could not believe the price when I saw the price of this guy. I was like, are you serious? And his name, Real Madrid midfielder Jude Bellingham, 7.5 million. He's already selected by 70%, and fair enough. Yeah, 70% is a lot. If you're thinking of going without Bellingham this season, advice, don't. Just don't. He's like Erling Haaland. Just don't. 70% already selected by is selected by 70% already. And last season for Dortmund, Real Madrid is definitely a stronger team than Dortmund. Last season, he performed absolutely incredibly well in the Champions League. And this one already is, I think, 4 goals in 3 games for Real Madrid. Is basically playing like the false nine from midfield. Absolutely fantastic. And now that Vinicius is injured, Benzema is gone and all that, Bellingham is basically like the focal point, and it's amazing, man. Those late runs into the box, he can score anytime. Fantastic, and can get you recovery points as well, because you can make those runs back into midfield too. So I have gone for Jude Bellingham as the first pick. That is a very, very easy one, 7.5 million, and on top of that, he saves you money, because over the previous seasons you have the likes of Vinicius and Salah and De Bruyne, who are very expensive, 10 million, 11 million, and you don't really get to save money. But this time around, Bellingham saves us a lot of money. The second midfield I've gone for is Foden, 8 million. Then don't necessarily have to go for Foden. There's a lot of players they can go for from Man City, Grealish, and all that. I also think Rodri is a good player to pick in the Champions League fantasy, because he scores goals and he can get you recovery points. He might get a yellow card here and there, but Champions League fantasy different, and Rodri could be a gem. He can get you at least 5-6 points every single week. Phil Foden, Man City's group. Man City's group is amazing. So I think Haaland might not be enough, just Haaland. You have to go for at least 2 defenders, 1 extra midfielder, because if Haaland scores, everyone gets the points. If Foden scores, only 5% get the points. So he's only selected by 5 points at the moment. Last season, he only got 23 points in the Champions League, only 1 goal and 2 assists, but he didn't regularly play. Since then, Mahrez has left, Gundogan has left, De Bruyne is injured, so that is why Foden has been picked here. Next up, we will go to Bayern Munich, where is the midfield I'm looking for from Bayern Munich, Kimmich. Last season, 49 points. He scored 1 goal and 3 assists. He does take some corners sometimes, some free kicks at times. Midfield, he can assist from midfield as well. He can get you recovery points too. So Kimmich definitely going to start games as well. So Kimmich is the third midfield I've picked. And for me, Bayern Munich, I think, is another team to target. Again, on Patreon, I spoke about this one, the groups and the best teams to target, and Kimmich is one of them. So 6.5 million as well, very good price. Last one is slightly cheaper, if I'm not wrong. I think it's like 6 million, but Kimmich is the next midfielder I've gone for. Next up, let's go to Atletico Madrid. Rodrigo de Paul, 7 million. I have gone for him. He scored 1 goal last season, but I do like his group as well. Very balanced. Rodri de Paul is going to cost you 7 million. But then again, if you want to save money, as I said, Rodri could be a good option. But de Paul, 7 million. Again, remember, this is just the first draft. And the next up, you had to go for an Arsenal player, right? I mean, I didn't have to, but I think he's going to do quite well in the Champions League this season. Bukayo Saka, 9.5 million. It takes Arsenal's penalties, main reason as well of putting him there. He's still very new to the Champions League. He's never played in the Champions League before, so he's definitely very, very new. So some of you prefer someone who's played in the Champions League before. I totally understand that. You can also go for someone like an Odegaard, who can also take penalties sometimes. But Saka, the fact that he has penalties, and Arsenal have a fair group. Arsenal have a fair group there. I'm not going to go for 2 or 3 Arsenal players. No, I'm going to be very fair and unbiased. I think Saka 9.5 million. And if you don't want Saka, I mean, some people would prefer Rashford, but the difference is that Rashford has been put as an attacker in this game, a forward player, not a midfielder. That is the thing. So Saka 9.5 million. Those are the midfielders I've gone for: Jude Bellingham, Foden, Kimmich, Rodrigo de Paul, and Bukayo Saka. Now, striking as well. Important, the Champions League fantasy, yes, but you have to balance it. Now, you can't only go for all the expensive strikers, and you have to balance it out. Unless you've gone for a cheap midfield and stuff, it's very difficult to have all the top strikers. Erling Haaland, you just have to go for him. Like, he's currently selected by 68%. Last season, he had 12 goals in the Champions League, 12 goals. In his group, Red Star, Young Boys, and Leipzig, I think he's got like a hat-trick against Leipzig last season. They played them. He could easily get 30 goals in that group. Like, I'm not joking. Like, if he plays 90 minutes every day, he's going to easily get 30 goals in that group, and that will be a Champions League record. And if there's someone who likes breaking records, it's Erling Haaland. So if you think about not going with Haaland, you are crazy. 11.5 million is what it is going to cost you. And the second strike I've gone for in this draft is Rafa Silva. Already this, and I think he has 3 goals and 2 assists for Benfica. Has been doing quite well. And last season, he picked up 56 points. Benfica are quite good. He got 7 attacking returns. Very, very good. So Rafa Silva is the second one. He's only going to cost you 8.5 million, so he allows you to like spread the money elsewhere, because the other strikers, the big strikers like Lewandowski are like 11, 12 million and stuff. So it's very difficult to fit them all. I've also gone for a Man United striker, and I can also go for someone like an Alvarez, only going to cost you 7 million, but I'm going to go for Højlund as well, mainly because of his price, 7 million, and you'd expect him to start many games for Man United if he's back from his injury fully. And as an Arsenal fan, he came on against us the other day, and he actually got himself into good position. So 7 million, yes, they have a very tough group against a game against Bayern Munich, but the rest of the games, especially at home to Copenhagen, at home to Galatasaray, don't be surprised if Højlund scores a few goals. Last season he was playing for Atalanta, but this season Man United against Bayern Munich, maybe he won't really get any goals, but against the other two teams, that is what to go for. And Højlund, Rafa Silva as well, they both save you money. There's a lot of big strikers you can go for, Rashford and Lewandowski and all those guys. Barcelona also have a good group, but those are the players I have picked for this draft. Let me know what you think. Remember, if you want to support the channel and you enjoy the content and you want extra content and your team to be reviewed and everything, the link is in the description to join the Patreon. Really appreciate you guys watching. We are back. Champions League football is back, and it's better that my team is back as well. I enjoy it even more. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.